Hey guys, I'm Kings, and today I want to talk to you guys about the new operator for Year 7 Season 2. To get the short of it, Sens isn't very good in my opinion. The gadget for Sens is okay, but can be replaced by any smoke grenade on attack, and the gun just isn't good. Yes, it has a lot of bullets, it has 51 if you have the magazine and then you reload one bullet, but the recoil is, well, let's say, uncontrollable to say the least. And then round out the kit, Sens gets a pistol and the Gong 6, but let's be honest, who really uses the Gong 6? Sens comes with also a hard breach tool and some claymores, so I guess she's not completely useless. But the crazy recoil for the primary assault rifle that she has, in my opinion, at least on console, is useless unless you're a god at recoil management. And even then, it's still going to be really hard to keep that gun at head level or where you want it. But hey, if you're bad at the recoil management, you might be able to get a RNG Jesus to help you out and hand you those headshots anyway, so pray to RNG Jesus before every round if you're going to play Sens with that assault rifle. I didn't talk about Sens' other primary gun, the 417 DMR that I think Line and Twitch both have. But, if you're going to play the new op, why play the new op with an old gun when that has a new gun? So, yeah, let's just ignore the 417 for now. I think the best sights for the POF9, which is the primary gun, if I haven't mentioned the actual name of the gun yet. But I use primarily the Russian Reflex for the sight, which is also the Reflex B, in case you guys want to know what that's actually called now. Or you can use any one-time sight that you guys like, because it'll help you keep the recoil down, and you won't be shooting the ceiling with the dumb thing if you're rocking like a 2x or an ACOG, because it will go up pretty quick on you if you are rocking one of those ACOGs and you're not very good at recoil management. So I'd recommend using one of the, with either a one-time sight or maybe at the very most a 1.5. For the muzzle attachment, I use the compensator primarily. The default for it is the flash hider, but I find that the gun's a little bit more stable with the compensator than the flash hider, but that's just my personal preference. And also rock the vertical, because if you don't and you're rocking the angle grip, well, let's just say good luck. I also rock the hard breach tool because instead of the claymores, because if I rock an operator without a breach charge or a hard breach tool, I feel like I am running around naked, and that's not a good sight for anyone to see. So definitely recommend the hard breach tool over the claymores. But since that last update where they made claymores have two, so maybe that's what you'd rather prefer. I personally like having a breach charge or a hard breach tool, and Sens only comes with a hard breach tool, so I use that. But if we're talking about how the gun works, I don't really like it. From my personal experience, from what I've used and how I've used this weapon, it kicks really hard, and it kicks not just straight up really hard, it kicks up, and then it hits over to the left. And for me, like, on console, it's a lot harder to control the analog stick with my thumb. When it kicks up, that's fine, you can hold down on the stick, but then when it kicks up a little bit, and then also to the left, it's a lot harder to hold the stick down, and then knowing to count to also pull down to the right to compensate for that recoil. So it can still be really wily when you're using it, especially when you're first starting out with the new operator. I find that the recoil for the gun for Sens' assault rifle is probably the heaviest recoil on attack, probably the heaviest recoil in the game entirely right now, even more so than like the SMG-12, which I think it has the most recoil in the game. But I think this gun actually has more recoil than that, especially if you're not rocking the vertical grip, which let's just all assume you are using the vertical grip, because you're asking for a lot of problems if you're not. So now that I've gone through and said the recoil is absolute trash, and I honestly think they need to do what they did with Ash, Sophia, and Twitch is gun on console. They need to, at least for console anyway, I'm not sure if they're going to do this for PC, but they need to lower the recoil pretty heavily, I think, to be manageable. I think if they make it somewhere around Ella's gun's at, or maybe around where Sophia's AR is at, they're going to be at least useful. But I think that's what's going to need to be changed. Maybe we'll get it, maybe mid-season reinforcement if people complain enough. I honestly think the gun is at the state where it's kind of not very good at all. It's probably like the worst gun right now on attack. Granted, it does have the bullets to compensate for it, but other than that, the gun is not good. So maybe rocking the M4, the 417 right now might actually be the way to play Sens, because of how bad the recoil is on the primary. But maybe I'm just bad at recoil management. Who knows? But from my personal experience from using it, it's just all over the place. And then, let's talk about her Sens' gadget. Sens' gadget, in my opinion, is just smoke grenades. It's literally just a a gigantic smoke grenade that can bounce off walls. So sens isn't really needed, since a lot of operators come with the smoke gadget. You'll almost always have at least one or even two operators on your team that come with the smoke. So having a gun that's uncontrollable plus more smoke, essentially, is kind of lackluster, especially since it's just a straight up copy from Valorant, which kind of makes me depressed because it almost goes to show you that the gadgets that are coming out from the new operators are not even unique anymore. They're just kind of straight up copies from other games, which before I thought they were at the bottom of the barrel, kind of scraping, trying to get new ideas from that, and now they've kind of like thrown this barrel away, and they're like, well, we don't have any more ideas, so let's take other ideas from other games, which is kind of sad and depressing in my opinion. But I have used the gadget to get some breaches and pushing objectives that I probably wouldn't have been if I wasn't rocking the gadget. Maybe if I was rocking smoke, I probably could have done the same thing. But I did get some cheeky plants with the gadget, so sens does have a place on the team. I'm not saying sens is completely worthless. I do think sens does have options to be used on bomb, but I still think there's other operators that can do what sens does, but even better. Like, I think smoke ying would probably be far superior. Get, of course, the LMG, so you get more rounds, more damage, less recoil, and of course you also get the crazy flashbangs, and you're also not affected by your own flashbangs. So I think Ying would probably be a better operator to choose instead of sens in pretty much any way, unless of course Ying gets banned. So I honestly don't see sens being a mainstay on anyone's team for a long period of time. I can see sens being used in the beginning because it's new. Everyone likes playing something new. But I don't really see sens being a mainstay after about 2 to 3 weeks of the new season being out. Like, people will still play or play sens to get a feel of the operator or whatever, but I don't see sens being used all that much in rank. But that's just my opinions on sens. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys like the new operator? Do you guys hate the new operator? What is your guys' opinion on the new op? Have you guys played it? The new gun, the POF9 off. It's gonna be hard to remember what this gun's name is, but it's kind of like an LMG, but not an LMG, but with a ton more recoil than any LMG in the game. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your guys' thoughts are. Don't forget, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.